Okay, here we go. A little boo-boo before, if anybody was watching. As you're coming in, be sure to say hello. Let us know that you are here, and welcome. Let's hope there's no glitches tonight. There's already stuff on my thing here. Just give a moment. And comments keep going away, so I don't even know if anyone is here yet. It shows one, but I think that's me. And I think one went away. Hi, Mary. How are you tonight? It is a cold, chilly night here in Pennsylvania. Long time no see. Hello, Kay. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. You're good. I hope all's going well with you and your daughter, Mary, because I saw your post. I was wondering where you've been. You've been kind of quiet. And Kay is here. So I have something really fun to share with you tonight. Something new, something I saw during one of the live events that Stampin' Up! Invited certain demonstrators to attend. And I thought, you know, that's a perfect thing to showcase for you all tonight, is working with the Inspired Thoughts stamp set. It's so cold. I wish it was spring. We were looking at the spring mini. Yeah, well, you know what? Being a demonstrator, speaking of that, we will be seeing the spring mini next weekend. So the only way you could see that beforehand and order things is by becoming a demonstrator. And what a fabulous offer Stampin' Up! Is having starting today, and it's Start with Savings. So I want to welcome you all here today, all 2-3 of you. And I know it is a great, it's a great start off if you've been a demonstrator before, or maybe you haven't, or maybe you want to save some money on your purchases, or you want to be your own personal shopper. For just $75 and tax, shipping is free. You can get a $125 value. You can choose items of your choice. So it's the standard $99 starter kit for only $75 through November 30th. And what a great time to join. So there's no obligation. People always ask me, what are the... what's the fine line? There's no fine line. Everything's laid out. Yeah, I know. I want to join again. Everything is laid out. There's no obligation to continue, although I would love to have you continue. You can get your discount as a personal shopper. You can get all the pre-order stuff that we all get. Hello, Cecilia. You can, if you choose to later on, turn it into maybe a small business, but you don't have to. You can just shop for yourself. And for $75 to get $125 worth of product, you get to pick what you want. So there's new product coming out. You can pick, new things. You can pick old things. You can pick things, whatever you would like. That's the great part of our kits is, well, not our kits, but our starter kits, is that you don't get a select, a lot of companies, here's what you get. No, you pick what you want. So maybe you want that die cut and emboss machine, the mini one, you can get that. Maybe you want, I don't know, some of the new dies, some of the new items. And also keep in mind, you don't have to put in your minimum, which only comes out, hi Fran, to $100 a month is what you have to spend. But think, you keep 20%, so you really are only purchasing $80 worth of product. You're purchasing $100, but you're only spending $80. And as long as you keep up with your minimums, you get an extra month, and you can possibly go into pending. They give you that month to catch up. And I keep an eye on that, and I let you know, and I keep you updated in case you are falling into that category. And you get to be a part of the Sweet Bee Stampers and a member of the Hive, where we meet every month. And it's just a great offer that I don't know why anyone would want to pass it up. So if anyone has questions on that, reach out. Let me know. Yes, all you need are a couple of friends, get together once a month. You can make the minimum, no problem. You could even get a couple people to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, because you make a commission off of that. You can get your own paper pumpkins and get your own commission off that. As long as you do your minimum amount, which is $300 a quarter, and that comes out to, again, $100 minus the 20% discount. And then you can earn as you advance. You don't have to recruit anybody. You don't have to sign up anybody. With your sales, you can earn Quick Start, which you can get even more free items. And you can also go up to 25% discount just with your own sales, with your own purchases. Let's put it that way, with your own sales, purchases, whatever. So it's a great deal. If anyone has any questions, there's nothing hidden. I have nothing that I'm keeping from you. I'm just offering the opportunity to everyone to come and join and give it a shot. Celebration's coming up. Wouldn't you like to have all those new products before anybody else? Yeah. And then don't forget, everything you purchase goes toward your sales. So some companies, that doesn't work that way. But whatever you buy goes toward your minimum amount. So it doesn't have to be from other people, you know. And I don't know what more I can say other than if you're going to pass it up, you're passing a great deal. And if you decide that it's not for you and you want to let it go and you don't want to, you know, be a part of the Stampin' Up! Family anymore, which I can't imagine, come back to me as a customer. As a customer, you still can come to all my events. You still can participate in everything. You know, I don't hold that back from anyone. All right. So, other thing to bring to mind is Gifts Galore Paper Pumpkin Kit. And look at how adorable this kit is going to be. It is a great deal and fun. And a few of my downline are on here, or sidelines are on here. You have to sign up by November 10th in order to get this one. And look at these cute little snowmen. And you know, you may say treat boxes aren't for me. Well, you know what happens with that. We have alternative ideas we come up with. Let me show you. Hold on a second. Just with, I can't even grab them, there's so many. Just with 2 kits of Paper Pumpkin, look at all that I have created. So I did one kit just as they suggested, and I took the other kit and added things. So I'm telling you, for $22, to be able to make all these handmade cards and then be left with the stamp set and the ink pad to continue to create, wow, great. So it's the Jolly Kit, and you get enough supplies to create 9 oversized treat boxes with food-safe bags, easy to make, even easier to enjoy, and it's a Christmas project, and it arrives in a special box, and it comes with an exclusive stamp set and, hold on to your panties, Flirty Flamingo Classic Stampin' Spot. So how about that? So you know what to do. Stampin' Sue creates.stampinup.net. You could sign up there, or you can go ahead and use my personalized link. I will post that here in the Facebook page when I'm done. I know I've posted that before, but use the personalized link, and you can opt out any month if you don't want it, just as long as it's before the 10th of the month. If you decide you want that month, like maybe you really love this, you want to make sure you're going to get more than one, get 2 kits, give one to a friend, or give the ink pad and the stamp set to a friend and keep all the supplies, you know, for yourself, because you're going to want to make these cute little snowman treat boxes to give to everybody at Christmas time. Just saying. Okay, so I am going to focus tonight on this stamp set. You may be thinking, that's it? That's all you're going to focus on? It's called Inspired Thoughts. It's in the annual catalog. You may have overlooked it. You may look at it and say, huh, that doesn't look familiar to me. all it has are sayings. What am I going to do with that? But it has a Christmas one too. This stamp set will take you all throughout the year. And I'm going to show you some fun samples, and I'm going to demonstrate 2 cards for you. I'm going to give them away at the end, so don't run away. But looking at this, you may think, I don't even recognize that. But I'm going to tell you what, you're going to recognize the dies when you see them. So when you see these dies with the trees and the leaves, the little circle, and the little whoop-de-doo here, you're going to say, ah, I know that one now. How many are going, ah, I know that one? You bought that one. Great. Well, then, if you bought that one, I have something special to send to you. So anyone that purchases this bundle of products, I have something special to send you. A special video and a special sheet. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But this is a great set because it goes sheltering you with love at a time when words fall short. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Sending healing thoughts your way. Thinking of you on your special day. Wishing you all the beautiful gifts of Christmas. Hello, peace, joy, love. You make a difference every day with heartfelt sympathy. And it's a time to be remembered, to feel appreciated, and to know you're celebrated. What a wonderful, great bunch of sayings to cover almost everything you could possibly think of. And the dies, it comes as a bundle, so you can save 10%. So let me just pull it up here in the catalog in case you've missed it, and you may have because there's so much to see. So this is our annual catalog. It's on page 52. Let me move that over so you can see it. So Inspired Thoughts Bundle, it's $45.57. So you get all of those stamps and all of those dies, and you save 10%. So here's a flyer on it, and I'm going to show you how to make the cards. Well, this one is a little tag, but I turned it into a card on top. And if you purchased it, you got the red rubber stamp set sale. Oh, you got it during the stamp sale. Okay, well, let me know if you got this, or if you're of course, if you're going to buy it, I will know. If you're going to buy it, don't forget to use the host code. With that host code, $35 in purchase before shipping and tax, you will get a thank you gift from me, which is the November tutorial. And it's all about tags, and special bonuses are projects that the tags go on. So I showed you not too long ago, I'm looking to see where it is. I did a little bag with a baby tag on it. So I will send you the class plan on how to make these 2 projects. And this is a great bundle. And look at how great they added in. If you have Nature's Beauty, they added in a little rabbit there. So this stamp and this bundle is going to take you throughout the whole year long. And I'm going to show you how. So I want to thank you for coming and being a part of our Facebook Live tonight. Okay, so let's get started. All right, now my arm is a little sore. I went and got my booster today. I'm looking for a paper to stamp on. And I took a little nap. What are my papers here? Took a little nap, and my arm is really sore. Oh crap, just had a little avalanche. All right, well, we'll get that later. I just need a paper to stamp on. Who thought that would be so difficult? Alrighty. Okay. The struggle is real. Are you getting your booster tomorrow? My arm is really sore, and I did have to take a nap. So I don't know. From the nurse that gave it to me, she said, you know, if you had a problem. Well, she said, how are your first and second shots? I said, well, my first shot, I ended up with COVID. She goes, oh. And the second one, I was a little sick, but I went to work. So it wasn't bad. Okay, so if I miss your comments, I will go through them later after I'm all done. And if there was any questions or anything, I'll be happy to answer them. So I'm going to show you the first project that I'm going to make for you tonight. And look at how beautiful this card is. So this can be a spring card. You can make this into a winter card. You can make it into many different types of card. You heard that from a lot of people, sore arm and really tired. Well, the real tired, I'm not going to notice that because that's an everyday occurrence. Okay, so I did some of this stuff ahead of time because I wasn't sure. I had the plan that I was going. My boss actually set it up. And I wasn't sure how my arm was going to be for like cranking the big shot and whatnot. That kind of rhymes, don't it? Cranking the big shot and whatnot. But I have a little glue booger. All right, so I have a piece of Whisper White, and I know I don't have my ruler thingy here. But if you purchase it, you will get the tutorial and a video to show you. So the video and the tutorial might be a little bit different than mine, but it'll come out with the same thing. So I'm using Calypso Coral, and I'm using one of our brushes. There's something on my ink pad. One of our blending brushes. And what I want to do with this is I'm going to take my blending brush in my Calypso Coral, and whoo, that is a bright baby. And I'm just going to start off on the paper, and I'm going to go from dark to light. Give my piece of white cardstock just a little bit of color to it. And there's a dog hair. All right. This is a juicy ink pad. Can you tell? I think I'm pretty good with that. You can do that as much or as little as you want. And I'm doing like a little gradual where it's darker down on the bottom. I'm going to go up a little higher because I'm not sure how much is going to show, and a little bit lighter on top. Just kind of give it a little bit of interest, and that's with Calypso Coral and the blending brush. And I like to have a bunch of blending brushes. I don't have one for every color, but I'll have like one for yellows, one for reds, one for blues. This one kind of goes in the orange and peach kind of category, but you can wash them. But I find that if you just kind of go on your paper and rub off the color, you know, you really don't have to wash it, but you can if you'd like. Okay, so there is that card. What I did ahead of time, and I'm going to forget my colors. The celery, is that, wait, hold on. Is that a color? Why am I thinking that's retired? Oh, I didn't use retired colors. Let me look at my color thing here. Hold on. Pear Pizzazz. I'm sorry. What am I thinking? Celery. I think it's celery because I had wings the other day and I had celery with it. Okay. So Pear Pizzazz. I used Pear Pizzazz, and I just took a piece and I used the die cut, that little whoop-de-doo. Okay. Little whoop-de-doo. Well, let's see how I did the whoop-de-doo like this. Okay, so you can get a whole bunch of whoop-de-doos out of your cardstock. And the base of my card is going to be Whisper White, Basic White. I'm telling you, I just have no more brain cells left. Oh, goodness me, goodness. Okay, so that's going to be my base card. And this little piece of Calypso Coral is going to get layered. I'm going to layer it more toward the top. The bottom don't matter because I'm going to have this Pear Pizzazz to go down along the bottom like so. Okay? All right. So then I took Pear Pizzazz and I believe they're Mossy Mellow. Let me turn my thing because if I see the color ink pad, I'll know what it is. Yeah, Mossy Meadow. And I cut out a bunch of all these little tree parts. Wasn't sure how many I needed. So we did that. And I have all of them. So all of them cut out ahead of time. So you do all this prep work ahead of time. Out of crumb cake, I cut out the trees. Okay. I love these trees. Wait till you see the other projects with the trees. And then I used So Saffron. Let me grab it. I can't even grab it. Oh my goodness. I can't pick it up. So Saffron to make myself a little sun, like the sun is rising. And there's a little tiny circle die for that. I did that. And then I had a scrap piece of Pool Party, and I just cut out a rectangle. I just trimmed it out. I stamped it with the black, not Stays On, oh, Memento. And I just cut it out. You make a difference every day. Okay, so that is that. So those are all the pieces and components of the card. So let's go ahead and let's start to do some gluing, right? Before I get myself in more trouble because my words aren't working tonight. All right. So I did this on the thick Whisper White, and my card base is the thick Whisper White. And so like I said before, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up to the top of my card. And I kind of like the design of this in that the whole front isn't covered. You know, it just kind of has that little, like you're looking through a window or something. That's how I take it. All right, so Pear Pizzazz, I'm going to glue that down. I'm going to leave the top open a little bit because I want to go ahead and put that little sun that it's peeking up through, that it's the rising sun, right? So that I'm going to go ahead and put a little, ooh, that's a little too much. Let me get my, I don't want that oozing out. And this I'm just, well, let me put my trees here so I get a look, see how that's going to go. So my trees are going to go all the way down the bottom. And I'm just going to have that peeking out right there. Okay, and I got gluey fingers. All right, so let's put this aside for now. And let's bring in our silicone mat. Now, if you use our adhesive sheets, you can go ahead and die cut all of these with the adhesive sheets. I couldn't seem to locate mine since I cleaned my room. So I'm just going to use my silicone mat. I'm seeing a piece of my tree didn't poke out. And I'm just going to lay that on there. And then I'm just going to place these pieces, just using my liquid glue, over the top of my trees. And I'm going to kind of mix them up and all. So do that. And we're just going to cover our trees because this is a nice, I'm going to call this, well, maybe a, when they're still green. So would it be kind of like a spring card? Summer card? Whatever you want to call it. I'm just going to cover these over, and you can do them any which way you'd like. Doesn't really make too much of a difference. Just cover them over. And let's see. This has two together. I thought I was going to be fancy, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could run two at a time. But ooh, that was hard to run through the emboss machine. Too many of them. Could have used a few more of the bigger ones, but we're going to work it. I'm going to work it and make it work. Okay. So if you don't have this yet, you may want to think twice. I'm going to take this one and I'm going to flip it upside down. And I'm just filling in those branches with shrubbery. I guess that's what you would call it. Leaves, right? Leaves. And by having the silicone mat underneath, it's protecting the back of any glue that might go through. So you can put them every which way. I like to turn them upside down because it kind of, you know, gives it a little bit of a rounded effect. And you don't worry if you can see through that tree, because if you look in nature, I want a lighter color. You can see through trees. They're not perfectly covered up. Okay, let's see. There's a couple little ones to fill in. You can just layer this however you like. Get down there. Let's see. Sometimes you don't know when to stop. Right? Who's with me there? Sometimes you're kind of like, oh, maybe just one more there. And, ooh, maybe just another one there. Oops. Okay. Okay. Something is making a tinging noise. Okay, so there is our trees. That one isn't wanting to stick. Get down on there. Now the silicone mat is wonderful in that when you are done using it, you can just set it aside, let it dry, and you literally can pick the glue off of it. Okay, so there's our trees, and there's our messy mat. We put that aside. So let's bring our card back in, and our trees are going to go all the way down to the bottom of the card. All right, so that glue that's coming out the back, that's going to help us. It's going to help us adhere that to the card. And I'm just going to do a couple little lines here. The adhesive sheets would be wonderful to create this card in that you wouldn't have to worry about any glue. And I'm just going to use my sleeve. And I see my little card is off a little bit, so we'll have to just do a trimmy of that. Okay, so there we go. Have to do a little, I wanted to make sure that I put it on right. How many of you have been there where you're like, oh, I think maybe I glued that on the wrong way, where the card is opening upside down. Okay, so we have some overextending bush here. Let's use my paper trimmer. May have to go through that again. Alright. But you see how quick and simple this card can come together? And it looks like you did a lot of work. But do all the prep work ahead of time, and you'll be good to go. Alright, so there's a little bit overextending here. Let me open my card and trim that off. Oh dear, and I did really bad there. So whoever gets this card, don't judge me. Rid of that. Let me fix my bottom here. I hate it when my bottom's crooked. Okay. There we go. So our little saying, we're going to use dimensionals to put, oh, it's all sticky. Use some dimensionals. These are left from Paper Pumpkin. Look at my boo-boo on the back. Nobody will know. What happens here stays here. Okay. So you make a difference every day. We'll put that, oh, I don't know, maybe we'll put that over here. There we go. Now, if you wanted to, you can add Wink of Stella to this. But what a pretty card. And I think that's crooked. Okay. Why is everything I do crooked? Okay. So what do y'all think? Do you like that card? It still looks crooked. Maybe I cut something crooked. Okay, let's try that again. Ta-da! So isn't it pretty? I love this card. I think it's just so beautiful. You could see that my trees went a little bit higher on that one as opposed to this one. But I think it's a real pretty card. And very simple to do because those dies are doing all your work for you. All right, let me clean this up and put that aside. And I feel a sneeze coming on. Phew! So sorry. But that's life. I sneeze. Okay, so we were messy on that one. Let me bring in a different silicone mat because we're going to get messy again. Love to get messy. Oh, under control. Mess under control. Okay, so now we're going to do a winter scene. I know, don't shoot the messenger. Let me just retie my bow here. I hope you're not seeing it. My bow got a little wonky. Okay, so how about a beautiful winter scene? You're inside, all cozy by the fire, and you're looking out and you see the snow is falling and little icicles have fallen. Can you see all those icicles on that tree and how they sparkle? So how do I do that? Oh, how did she do that? Oh, well, let me show you. So all you got to do for this, to make your little window, like I said, I did this ahead of time, and it, you know, you're probably thinking, oh yeah, you probably took how many tries to do it? I didn't. I did it in 2 tries. 2 tries being the first one I did sample and the other one. So I just took a square, well, it's kind of off square a little bit, okay, and I used these square framelets, the dies, and I took, well, I mean, you can make it any kind of window you want. Maybe you like the long, narrow windows, or these are the square. So I took the little square and I put it on the white cardstock and rolled it through. And actually, when, I'm not sure if you can see this, but when it runs through, it kind of makes a little line going around the window, which I like that. You know, I don't know if you're able to see it on here, but that helps you to align up your next square because it leaves a little line there. So very easily, you have to run it through 4 times in your die cut machine, but if you don't have these squares, you need to have them because there's so many things you can do with them. Okay, so that was my window. And I have a piece of Night of Navy. And what I want to do with that, well, you know what, first off, let's do our tree. Let's do our tree because that's going to have to dry a little bit. Let me get a sip. So if you want the video tutorial and the paper tutorials for this, all you got to do is, if you've already ordered it, let me know. Or I can go back through the history, but that's too much of a pain. And I will send it to you. Or if you place an order for it during this month of November, then I will go ahead and send it to you then. Okay, so we have all of these trees, and you know, before we used all the trees and it was wonderful. So now what we want to do is we're going to separate our trees. So I'm going to take a little snip down here. Well, it don't really matter on the bottom. You're not going to see. So I'm going to focus on this tree here. And I'm going to be a tree trimmer tonight. And I'm going to cut some of these branches. And once I cut them, then I'll see. So then we have these trees left for another card. All right, so let's see how we did. All right, so you're going to look at it and you're kind of like, okay, well, that looks a little funky. But you know what? Hey, trees do not grow perfect. I don't know about trees by where you are, but I have some really wonky trees around here. I'm just going to trim a few things off like that. And I'm not going to worry too much about it. So I'm going to make this tree all nice and icicles, like a snow fell and then it melted and it froze, so it makes it look like it's all icy. And something I don't use enough of, shimmery white embossing paste. How many of you have this and we're like, oh, what do I do with it? I have so many things to show you what to do with this that you cannot imagine. It'll have to be another Facebook Live. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and I'm just going to pull my bone folder. I mean, I have all those fancy tools to use, but I'm just going to use my bone folder. Most of you all have a bone folder, and if you don't, you need one. So look at that inside. It just looks like a bunch of glistening snow. This adds so much to your cards or scrapbooking or whatever you want to do. I'm going to put a little bit on here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over my tree like so. Now, don't just stop at the tree. Go ahead and do, you know, your the branches. You can put on as little or as much as you like. Okay, do it on your silicone mat though. Make sure. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you clean this ASAP. So you'll go ahead and put that aside, but you see how that's glistening and how beautiful that is? So I do have one done ahead of time, but I will set this aside. And make sure you put the lid back on, put it real nice and tight. I put it back in the baggie. The top of it goes in first. and I seal up the bag, because if you don't seal it up well, it'll dry up. How do I know that? Because I opened my other one that probably I got the first one ever, and it was dried up. I'm not sure if you can bring it back to life or not, but I always have another one in reserve. Okay, so that is the shimmery embossing paste. Wonderful product, not used enough. So there's our little tree. We're gonna go, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put it aside because I have one done. So when I did the little tree, I did the other ones too, because I thought, you know what, I can make some other card out of that one. So I will have that for another card. Okay, so here's our little shimmer tree. I'm going to bring in a piece of Night of Navy. And what I want to do with this is I'm going to go ahead and bring in, now here was my first silicone mat. You see how that glue on there just dried? And if you just rub it like this, it just rubs right away. And you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to take the Whisper White re-inker, and I've had it sitting this way so that, you know, it'll come out of there. You can use your ink pad too. You can just take your ink pad and press it to a block and use it that way. But when I store it this way so the ink comes down the bottom, because the white is rather thick. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take one of the paint, what do you call these things? Water brushes. And I'm just going to add a little bit of water. And this could be messy. I'm going to tap on my card. Just like that. And I don't want to have one of these done ahead of time, so. But look at how fun that is. So just add a little bit of water, but use more ink than water, because if you use too much water, it'll kind of disappear. A little tappy. Okay? Let me put the lid back on here. What did I do with the lid? Where is that? Where the heck is the lid? I don't know. Oh, there it is. Okay. I'll clean that later. Okay. So let me get rid of this. With that aside. Now, if you find that, when it goes all over, if you find you need a little bit extra, we don't sell gel pens anymore, but you can get gel pens anywhere, and you can just go ahead and, you know, dot on your paper wherever, just to make it look like, you know, the snow is falling. And I'll just leave that handy for when I want to go ahead and finish it. Okay, so the tree, you know, once your tree dries, you're going to kind of do a faux placement. And this will, so this little, whatever size window you want to make, and then this piece that goes underneath is just a smidgen short so that it doesn't overextend your window, okay? So let's see where I want my tree to be. I think my tree looks good there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the back. And let me just double check. I think it was about there, maybe. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, glue that down. Then for your little window piece, if you, this will get trimmed off too, but let me just set that aside. For your window piece, you can use the dimensionals, or if you have the strips, which I didn't want to bother to try to find mine, so I'm just going to use the strips and of the edges. The edges of the dimensionals are a great resource for something like this. So, because you want this window to be up higher, and they're the perfect size for that. So let's see. Now this one might be a little too wide, so I'm going to go ahead and snip off. I should have just left that on there. Hold on. Hold the phone. put this. Now that has that little piece that's too long. Okay, so you want to go around your window. With your dimensionals. And don't peel the paper off like I did. Keep the paper on and trim it that way. I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes I don't think. Keep the paper on and trim it. See how much easier that is? Ooh, that piece went flying. All right, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to put a piece going around the entire window. I'm going to put a piece in the center. And then I'm going to go ahead, trim that, trim that. Okay, it's awful quiet in here. Put a couple of these that I cut in half in the center. All right, then we'll call it a day. Okay, so let's peel off the backing. Oh, I have some overhang. Make sure you check on this side so you don't have any overhang. And you're going to put that over your tree. So it's going to give you that 3D effect like you're actually looking out the window, which I love. If you want to get real fancy, you could put in a piece of acetate, you know, so it'll actually look like a window. I'm not going for all that, but depending on what look you want, you can make this window into a shaker card. That would be a lot of fun. And put some of our snowflake sequins. That would be a lot of fun. Okay, did I get it all? If I didn't get the middle, it don't matter. It's just there for dimension. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay this over my window. And then I'm going to cut the bottom of my tree off. I don't need that. And there is our little glitter window. Isn't that fun? Okay. Let me get rid of all of this. Okay, so our card base is going to be crumb cake. And we have a regular standard card base. And you're always good to have 2 bone folders. Oh dear. One that, let me get rid of this. One that is messy while that one is drying, then you pull out your other one. And here I have another layer of crumb cake. And what I did with this is I just trimmed it 1/4 of an inch smaller. Okay. So my window will go on here. My window looks a little scrawny compared to that other one. My goodness. And I'm going to bring in my glue. And I'm going to glue my window. My tree, I meant, is a little scrawny. And I'm going to glue this on here. Like that. And then I'm going to use some of the baker's twine. And I'm just going to wrap it around my card down here on the bottom. And tie a bow. And if your bow is loose, I'll show you a trick for that. Glue dots. Glue dots are our friend. To tie a bow, when it's hard and you only have 2 hands, if you take a little glue dot, kind of roll it up a little bit, tuck that underneath there, and stick your baker's twine to it, then it's like having an extra hand to hold it. If I can only tie the bow. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? You guys know that I can tie a bow. Okay, there we go. Oh. Okay, so you see how that's kind of loose and yuckity yuck? I'm going to spread this out a little bit. And then what I'm going to do on the back, I'm going to take some of my tear and tape, and as soon as I find the end of it, just going to take a small little piece. I'm going to gather this up and stick my tear and tape to hold that down. All right. Okay. Then this will get glued to our card front. Like so. Now I didn't, you can add dimensionals if you want, but I think because we already did the window with dimensionals, that, you know, I didn't want to add any more dimension to it, especially if you're going to mail it. Now this is where you can look through your window, and if you think that it needs a little bit more snow, you can go ahead with your gel pen and you can make more snow through the window. Like that. How much you want, how little you want. So then out of the pool party, I stamped the Sending Healing Thoughts Your Way. And I thought to add a little extra oomph to that, you can just glue it down. I'm going to trim it down first, and then I'm going to use the lovely label Pick-a-Punch to do nice fancy edges. And this is cut at 1 inch wide. Put that in there. Make sure you slide that in straight. Uh-oh. So she says. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use dimensionals to put that on, because I think it needs. So now I'm going to keep in mind that this string is going to be there. So that will also help hold down your baker's twine. These hands, if I could just trade them in for a new set, I'd be good. Well, actually, quite a lot of things I would be good. I'm going to retie this bow because I don't like the way it looks. Quite a lot of things I'd like to trade in. There's a dimensional back. How did that get in there? Okay. Let me bring in my ribbon snips so that I can trim this properly. And I'll throw that on the floor for George later. George will be coming around soon to clean the floors. All right, let's pick this up and let's tuck this right in there. And there you go. There's your cute little window card. You can see this one I had a lot less. That one I put a lot more snow on. So speaking of snow, let's see how our other tree is doing. This one had a lot. Okay, it needs just a little bit longer to dry, but it doesn't take long because I really packed on that snow on that one. But it'll be dry soon, and I'll be able to use that for another card. So there you go. There is a nice winter scene. So we had a spring scene, kind of spring, maybe summer. I'm going to call this summer. And this will be winter. Okay, so then you're wondering, well, what about fall? Let me show you this. Oh my gosh, you're going to love this. Here is a fall scene. Aren't these leaves just gorgeous? Oh my goodness. So how did I do that? All I did for this was all these little, where are they at? All those little pieces I cut out, these here, I cut them out of white, and I just took the sponge daubers and I used pumpkin pie, and I used what did I use? Let me turn my thing here. I used pumpkin pie. I used cherry cobbler. I used, what was the yellow I used? I used Daffodil Delight. Just use any fall colors, and I used the daubers, and I just daubed on these pieces in white, okay? So these little pieces of the falling leaves, or those little pieces after I daubed, I poked them out of here. You see how there's those little pieces? So they're those little pieces that you poke out. So they have color on them. The background is a part of that designer series paper with the trees. And that one, I'm like so disorganized tonight. The one with the trees is, which one is that? It is the Beauty of the Earth. Beauty of the Earth has this background that looks like sky. It's beautiful paper. So I didn't even have to do anything for that, but if you don't have that, you can just sponge over the background. And I used the DSP. If you look at the trees, how they kind of have the lines in them, I used the DSP, and let me grab that one. I don't have them all written down. The DSP with all the wood. And that one is called In Good Taste, where it has all these different wood and bricks and whatnot. And I ran the trees through on that. So that gave it the wood texture look. And I just thought it came out so beautiful. I love this card. So I have one more for spring. So how many of you have ever been to Washington where you see the cherry blossom trees? Anybody remember cherry blossom trees? I know it was so long ago. So I went and I made a cherry blossom tree. I basically did the same thing with the white. Let me bring it up a little closer. I didn't have enough time to make a card out of it. But I used the water brush and dabbed on a little bit of the ink. And this one was, hold on. Some of my ink pads, I don't have the color. The Rich Razzleberry. Rich Razzleberry, watered it down and kind of washed over. And then let it dry a little bit, and then kind of did little dabs on it to make it almost look like it's cherry blossoms. So isn't that pretty? So you will have, this set will take you all through from spring to summer to fall and winter. All by one set, one bundle of products, and tons of sayings to put on there, whatever it is you want to put on there. And if you purchase this bundle during the month of November, I will provide you with a video link. It's kind of like a fast forward link to show you how to put cards together, and also the tutorial page so that you will have like step-by-step directions. But I do want to give the 2 cards away that I made tonight. And I'll throw in that extra tree. Whoever wins that one. Let me see if this dried on here yet. Yeah, that stuff dries like concrete. I'll have to scrub that a little bit. I will throw in whoever wins the winter one. I will, whoever wins the summer one, let me throw these in there for you. Because I will put them in there for you. And then the winter one, I won't stick it in there yet because I want to make sure it dries. So I will send this out to you with the extra tree so then you can try making one for yourself. So I need pieces of paper. To write down names. Who all is still here? Oh my goodness, I'm not even paying attention to any of you. I'm just like la-di-da in my own little world. And I got to clean up that basket that I knocked over with all my cards, scraps, cardstock. So, anyhow, let's see. It shows what, six people are here. All right, so 1. We have a pretty good shot of winning. 2, and everyone's invited, whether you're in my team or you're a customer or you are both. You're all invited. Okay, I think I got enough there. I lost count. Okay. Let me get a pen. Okay. So the first one, well, let me get your names down first. So who all would like to win one of these cards? Put your name down below. Our imagination with the set. Yes, that's very true. Cherry blossoms. I have. So pretty. Wonderful. Card's my favorite of all. Hi, Betty. So if you want to win, put your name down. Mary. Mary S. Kathy. Anybody else? Did everybody leave? I hate how the comments go away. Sherry. Oh, Sherry, I finally sent your card out. I had it all addressed to go to the PA address, and then you told me that, no, send to the other address. So I finally sent it out the other day. So I apologize. It'll be on its way. Anybody else? Nobody else? It shows 5 here, so who's not saying they want to win? Oh, you're welcome. Oh, and Sherry, I did get your card. I need to take pictures. I'm so behind this week. It's not been a good week for myself or my family, so I apologize for that. Mary, I got you. Mary S., Kathy, and Sherry. Is that everyone? Oh, Mary, you come up as an anniversary follower. Isn't that fun? Okay. All right, I'm going to assume, and you know what happens with that. I'm going to assume that's it. So, 2 cards, 3 peeps. Oh, Betty. Betty. Okay, last call. Okay, Betty. All right. Okay, now it's last call. Betty and Mary. Okay. All righty. So, just 4 of you. I don't know. I seem to keep losing people to come to my lives anymore. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so, I'm going to, when I pick your name, the first person gets to choose which card they want. And then the second winner will get the other one. So, let's do that. Okay, so the first one is Sherry. So Sherry, you have your choice. Do you want the summer card or the winter card? Oh, my comments are gone again. Sherry? Summer or winter? Sherry, are you still here? Oh, the window one. Okay, there you go. I thought you left. I'm like, where'd she go? Okay, congrats for that. So the next winner will win the summer card, and you make a difference every day. And that winner will be Mary S. So Mary, this card will be coming to you in the mail with the little extra doodads. Okay. Well, that's going to end for tonight. What a mess I've made with just 2 cards. Who would have thought? So they were fun cards. Definitely consider this suite of products. And if you need the tutorials that you had purchased or the video, then message me and let me know. So congrats to the winners and congrats to all of you for being here. I do appreciate you taking time to spend a little bit with me. There's Kay. Look at everybody showing. I look forward to seeing you again real soon. Don't forget about the promotion to sign up. I'd love to have you all on my Sweet Bee Stampers team and work with you and or save yourself some money. So everybody have a wonderful rest of your evening. Be safe out there. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all back here again real soon. Have to work more with that embossing paste. I got a lot of things up my sleeve with that. So order it and then come and play. All right. We'll see you later, everybody. Have a good one. Bye-bye.